Early this week, police held a press conference where they had more details about the guy who shot and killed that store owner up in Lake Arrowhead, who had a pride flag out in front of her store. He ripped down, apparently it's been ripped down before and she put back up, and the confrontation went down. Here's more going on from the San Bernardino County Sheriff, Shannon Dicus, I believe is how his name is potentially pronounced. Travis Ikeguchi, who's 27 years old, was responsible for shooting Laura Ann Carleton, who's 66, to death after yelling many homophobic slurs about the store's pride flag last week. Ikeguchi fled Carleton's store Magpie by foot and was later killed in a lethal force encounter with deputies on Friday. He fired at multiple patrol vehicles with an unregistered semi-automatic handgun before officials then fatally shot him. There's a lot of details in here that I'm sure many folks who would support this guy and his belief systems probably wouldn't want connected to them, like that unregistered gun. I guess he can just get it anywhere. Weird how that works. A little bit more. Sheriff Dicus also said it appears that Ikeguchi, and I'm sure I'm saying his name wrong, that he acted alone, but authorities want to ensure that the crime was not affiliated with any other broader hate groups. And the investigation will continue. As we go into more of what's going on, some of those hate groups appear to be standard, everyday groups that people think are legitimate. He also had a history of making posts that were critical of the LGBTQ community and law enforcement on social media platforms like X and other ones like Gab. Weird. More from Vice. The shooter spent much of his time online sharing anti-LGBTQ content, reposting and responding to content shared by right-wing figures like Matt Walsh and fringe networks like OAN. His pinned tweet, posted in June, simply showed a rainbow flag on fire with the caption saying, "What to do with the LGBTQP flag?" I guess burning it is one of those things that would make him feel better. Have at it, bro. Buy all the ones you want and burn them again, just like your Nikes and everything else that they were doing. And on Gab, the shooter was more explicit in threats. He says, "We need to stop compromising on this LGBT dictatorship. Make it make sense and not let them take over our lives. Stop accepting this abomination that the government is forcing us to submit to these mentally disordered tyrants, dictatorships, tyrants." He throws those words around and has no idea that the president that he supported was advocating for all those things for himself. I know you did this before. I think it was Monday, Ray, when we were talking about this. As these details come out, the devastation that has come for this woman's family and anyone else around them, and also the terrorism that's then being pushed by folks like this, it just continues to grow. And is anyone gonna speak out against it? Maybe folks who support this guy?
I'm really angry because on Monday's show I went on a little bit of a rant about Matt Walsh specifically. I don't know if I named him, but he was the person I was talking about. And how these, Christian right-wing conservative figures, they always position themselves as a victim, that somehow the LGBTQ community, my community, simply existing and us just living our lives is a threat to their lives, that we pose a threat to them. And we learn now, and of course it is, Matt Walsh's content once again has inspired somebody to go and commit a hate crime, a brutal murder of a woman who was just trying to be a good ally to the community. It's disgusting. I mean, she was a mother of, I believe, 9. I mean, it's just the senseless murder. And again, we're talking about people who are willing to sacrifice their freedom and their livelihoods for Donald Trump, but these same people are willing to do it, in service of people like Matt Walsh and their anti-LGBTQ rhetoric. And when will they be held accountable? I'm sorry, in a just society, someone like Matt Walsh is gonna be held accountable. Someone like Libs of TikTok should be held accountable for inspiring hate crimes, inspiring bomb threats, being called into children's hospitals, and yet they still have the audacity to frame themselves as the victim when all they are doing is inspiring people to commit acts of violence against the LGBTQ community.
I think I was gonna be too disappointed in hearing what people like pundits and politicians may say in response to this, but I assume they've been pretty damn silent about one of their own carrying out what it is that they continue to tell them to carry out.
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.